beautifuls, this is Michiko here and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be answering questions that you guys asked about my book during my debut novel. That video went crazy. I wouldn't say viral because it didn't go viral, but it was definitely on the algorithm because originally when I posted the video there was only like 60 or so views. 2 to 3 days later I checked back and there's like 2K or something, and then as of right now, Sunday, January 12th, about almost 2 weeks later, the video is almost at like 9K, I believe. So there's still traction to it, but it's slowing down a lot. But I thank you guys for actually watching the video and being genuinely excited for me because this is such a huge step, and it's like, it's my book. I wrote a book. I really hope you guys enjoy it though, because I've been having imposter syndrome where I'm like, okay, what if no one really likes this book? What if my friends are just lying to me that they like this book? And I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Because there's always going to be someone that's not going to like your book. It's fair. It's the world. Somebody's always going to have an opinion about you that they don't like you. You just got to roll with punches, you know. But I am going to be reading off 10 questions and giving you guys the answers to it. If your question was not answered, you can definitely leave it in the comment section below and I will try to get to it. But these are the 10 questions that were frequently most asked, so I was like, you know what, let me just make a video of it. That way everybody could just go watch this video and be like, okay, that's all my answers, thanks. So the first question is, what genre is this novel? And I'm also going to tie in the second question, is it suitable for YA? So the genre of this novel here, Promise Me You'll Love Again, is actually fiction romance, and it is not for young adults. I mentioned it in the debut video, I think, that there are, maybe, I can't remember. There are 2 chapters in here near the ending that is not PG. It's very R-rated. So I would definitely not recommend this for young adults. I know the cover is misleading. It's very cute, it's giving webtoon vibes and everything, but this is not for young adults, okay? I mean, if you want to chance it, go ahead, but I already warned you that there's 2 chapters in here that is... I get very shy whenever my friends read it, because I'm like, well, they know this came from my mind. If a stranger reads it, it doesn't bother me as much, but when friends read it, it's like, okay, well, yes, I wrote that. Don't mention it, okay? I'm getting a little embarrassed. My friend, however, that read the book highlighted one of these sections. I told him specifically to skip those chapters and he did not, and he highlighted like one section and he's like, he sent me a meme and I was like, bro, I told you to skip. I was getting secondhand embarrassment for my own writing. But anyway, not for young adults. Novel is fiction romance. The whole book is actually, there's certain snippets, you know how authors do it. They add a little bit of their reality experiences into the book itself, and that is exactly what I did here in this book as well. So for my first book, originally secret, not so secret anymore. Originally I was going to be writing a fantasy romance book as my first like debut novel, but then I was like, you know, the project I was thinking of was way too outrageous for an indie author. It would take a lot of time as well. I may step back into that project, who knows, but only a couple of my close friends know what I'm talking about because they were actually the first readers of that story. They enjoyed it and everything, but then I was like, this is hard. The way I'm going about this is going to be difficult and it's going to be too hard for me as a non-experienced indie author. So I scrapped that idea. It's on the back burner. I still actually have notes for it. I actually jot all of my notes down whenever it comes to books. I have a tab that says book ideas, and then like I have one section of like characters, names I want to use one day, and then like ideas, like random snippets of ideas, songs that I have inspiration from that gave me ideas for books, and then like characters. I broke down each section so to not spoil too much. I'm gonna show you like, God, is it too bright? My screen's too bright. This section right here is specifically for Promise Me You'll Love Again. So I wrote that it was like invisible string, finding you in every lifetime, right person, wrong time, friends to lovers, there you are. I wrote, ooh, maybe I shouldn't show you what I wrote. Because there were spoilers on that screen. So, It's gonna be a blur. It's gonna be a blur for you guys. But yeah, I write down like the tropes, the main tropes of the book, and then like little details that randomly comes in my head that I want to write for chapters. That's how I end up plotting my stuff down. I also use other resources and everything, but I will definitely go into that in the next question. I don't think it's exactly the next following question, but this book is actually derived from my first love. You'll definitely see a little bit snippet of it in the author's note. Yeah, if you read the author's note, you'll know the whole backstory of the book itself, the inspiration. Inspiration is for my first love. My one friend was like, can you like detail it a little bit about it? Or if you don't want to, you don't have to, because first loves are the hardest ones to move on from. And my first love was like back in when I was obviously very young, thinking I know what love is. I think it was 11 or 12. And now I'm not that. I'm nearing like late 20s this year. I'm nearing 30, and that's scary. But this book was originally inspired by him, and I kind of wanted closure for myself since I never got the closure from the actual experience. So this book is derived from that. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I hope you fucking cry. I hope you cry. The second question is, how long did it take for the first draft? So, and it's also leading up to, did you pay for an editor? I like that these questions are actually leading to each other. So, for my first draft, I started on March 21st, 2024, and I finished on June 9th, 2024. So, it was almost 4 months of the first draft being written. And during that process, I know a lot of writers, they want to make a perfect first draft, and they think that, oh, okay, after this first draft there's not going to be that much editing that I need to do. But that is awfully wrong, because just to give you a heads up, your girlie has done 5 drafts of this one book. I'm about to read it for the very last time, and hopefully I don't find anything, because I still have time to edit the manuscript before it actually goes out to you guys. This is just an author's copy right here. It doesn't have that little banner on it, because this is from the Barnes & Noble one, which I'm not going to go with them, by the way, because this spine is awful, and I just didn't like the quality from Barnes & Noble, so I just stuck with Amazon. But that was not the question. Anyway, what was the question? Okay, the drafts. So if you're a writer right now, and you're currently going through like multiple edits of your drafts, that's okay. Don't publish the book until you are actually in love with it. Like, you would physically pick that book up and read it for yourself. It's okay if you have multiple drafts. There's nothing wrong with that. We're learning as we're going. And as I'm talking about drafts, I did not have an editor. There are certain expenses as an indie author you have to decide what you want to spend on, because you're funding it yourself. There's no big warehouse company or publishing company like traditional publishers. You don't have those connections to like, hey, my brain's farting. Hey, we're gonna have somebody edit your book. Hey, we're gonna have a cover designer for you. Hey, this is your marketing team and everything. As an indie author, that's all you. That's all you, Lippy girl. It's all you. And because of that, I had to decide what I want to spend my money on, and it was not on an editor, because I figured, well, 1, I could edit it myself. 2, I thankfully have friends that are readers and writers, and they were willing to give me their time to help me on my project. So if you're lucky to have that in your little corner, your friends or family, to edit for you that are, actively into reading books and are writers themselves, then you have editors right there. So technically I had 3 editors, 1 myself when I first did the first draft. I then gave it to my friend Sunny, so she did the second draft walkthrough, whatever. And then after Sunny, I then gave it to Maya. So Maya was the 3rd pair of eyes. And then after Maya, I did it myself again, because even though you have multiple editors, we all make mistakes. It's not something you can avoid, because there was, when I read back, I believe in between when I gave Maya the second draft, in between her and Sunny, I was reading it as well, because I wanted to just work on my project. So I caught a few things that Sunny didn't catch, which is okay. because we're humans, we make errors. And some of it is like something very stupid, because I don't know if your brain does this, where like you're reading and then it's like adding a word that's not there to make it make sense, you know? I caught a few of those, and I was like, damn, how do we all collectively miss this? So our brains were just in sync, because what's going on? So I'm going to be reading my book back once I get the actual official copy, where the copy that you guys are going to be getting on March 20th, 2025. That should be delivered today, Sunday, the 12th of January for me, hopefully. That way I'm going to be reading it again once more, 6th time, making sure that there is no mess ups. If there's a mess up and you catch it, I apologize. It is just me now. It is just me now. So if I make a mistake, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not that many. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's whatever, you know. I published a book. How many people can say that? Anyway, but hopefully that answers your question. The next question is, how did you format? So this also includes, how did I create the cover? And then it also includes another question, but that question is kind of loaded, so I'm going to give that one its own shine time. So how did I format? I used 2 programs to format my books. The first program is InDesign, which is a monthly subscription, which I've already have been using, because with Adobe you get like multiple different of their programs, and my other channel I use it for Premiere Pro and sometimes Photoshop. So InDesign was already like packaged in with it. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll just learn how to use InDesign. It's very intimidating, especially when you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. But with the power of Google and YouTube, I just looked up a tutorial and I followed it step by step. So that way, I know what I'm doing, because I'm following this girlie that's publishing her own book, and she's just telling you how to use InDesign. So I was like, cool, free resource. So there's another expense that, well, technically, I guess it does count as an expense. It's one I already had. Those in my mind, it was like, well, it doesn't matter. So I did spend money on editing software. So I saved money from not hiring an editor to then use that money to use as an editing software. So InDesign is a little bit difficult. If you want something where you don't have to pay monthly subscription for, Atticus is a good resource. Atticus was the second program that I did pay for. It's a one-time payment, and it helped me format for my ebook. That one I could have done in InDesign as well, but I was like, no, I can't do this again. Because formatting in InDesign takes it to start it, the tutorial and everything. Doing it for the first time was difficult. I'm pretty sure if I keep trying like my second book and so on, it'll be easier as it goes. But Atticus is literally beginner friendly. You just drop your PDF manuscript file, and then you pick a format layout you like, you click it, and it's already done. You can just change the font however you like. I believe you can add photos and stuff, like images and stuff like that as well. I only did it for like 1 or 2 pages, because it's like the literal dedication page, the title page, because this is all like special, like the dedication and everything, their images, and then like I had the art of the characters. So that one I had added as well in Atticus. So those are the 2 format programs I use: InDesign for my book, and then Atticus for the ebook. The other question I had that I saw someone ask was how I put like the designs in my pages and stuff like that. So the PNGs of the flowers itself, I got it from Etsy, and there was commercial use for all that as well, so you had to buy the license for that. Again, I spent my funds on things I couldn't do it myself. If I could do it myself, I didn't spend money on it. But this, I'm not an artist. I am definitely by far not an artist. So these were where my funds went in, and it's worth it. It's worth it to me, because look how beautiful this cover came out. And to find this, so the other question was how I formatted my cover. So I basically went on Pinterest and decided, okay, what pose did I want my characters to be? The flowers also has a special meaning. Everything in this book design I had come up with, and then I found an artist to then bring it to life, because I couldn't bring it to life unless you wanted to see like little doodles. So that's how I formatted my cover. On Amazon, it allows you to do like a book format calculator, how many pages you have in that book, what size you want that book in. I saved the little PDF so that my artist could have it as a reference when they start the cover. So the cover is all up to you. It's all up to your brain and how you envision things, and this was how I envisioned my cover to be. So I knew for sure I wanted a photo of the characters themselves. I had to figure out what pose I want them in, which I did a whole Pinterest board of the book itself for the vibes and everything, so that way the artist themselves would know, okay, this is a vibe she wants for her book. So I had like 2 different poses. They ended up doing 3 different ones when they were doing the sketches for me, and we decided on this one right here. I want to tell you guys why I did this, but I also want to keep things a mystery. But just know every little detail in my book has a reason, has a meaning. Like the flowers, the specific flower that's all over the book and even inside the book itself, there's a reason why I chose that flower and its meaning specifically. There's a reason why Minami is looking at you and Chihiro is not looking at you. There's a reason why there's like this red string here and everything like that. It all connects. It all connects. And I feel like the cover itself to your book it means like 1,000 words, you know? That one saying, a picture can tell you 1,000,000 words or whatever the quote is. That's how I feel about this. Hopefully I answered your question. For artists, you can find them on either like, I found mine on Vegan. I don't know if you guys know, I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but I find most of my artists there. I already found that website before because for my gaming channel, I used it for my VTuber model and stuff like that. You're able to find other artists elsewhere, but that's the place that I went to go find mine. And I hope to work with them again with my second book, so that way the covers kind of look alike. And I'm very excited for that one because I've already picked out the color schemes and the flowers and everything. So just a heads up, if you read my books in the future, just know there's always going to be a flower detail that is going to be entailed in the book itself, and flowers have meanings. Just know that. The next question is, any resources or knowledge you wish you had when you first started? So yes, obviously when you start something, you don't know where to start. Well, aside, writing a book, the first thing to do is to write the book itself. But after that, what do you do then? So I had to do a lot of research on like, how do I format my book? How do I like get it published? Do I go the indie route or do I go the traditional route? There's a lot going on. So the power of Google and social media and everything, that's how I found how to do everything that I've shown you in the very first video of me becoming my own indie author. Resources, there are a few. Obviously, writing resources, there's many. You can use I don't recommend it, since a lot of people say that Google is like giving the information out to the AI or whatever. You don't have to use Google Docs. I use Word. You also don't have to use Word. There's multiple different format for platforms you can use for writing, but I used Word. I paid for Word and I used Word. Grammarly, I use sometimes for like the minor little grammars. Another one I use is Mila Notes. That's where I keep most of my digital notes on my computer. That is also free. If you want to add, I don't know how much your subscription is to have more notes, access more memory for your notes, you're free to do so, but I just use the free version. I don't think I used any other resources for writing the book itself, because again, whatever I can get for free, your girlie would do for free. If I don't have to pay for it, I'm not paying for it. And that is one thing I definitely did. Knowledge wise, I'd say as an author, you do feel insecure about your work. You question if it's good. So actively, I would be writing every day, every second I have free time. Sometimes that's a lot, Sometimes you're like, bro, the fuck did I just write? So usually, it's okay to delete a whole chapter you worked 3 hours on. It's alright. You're gonna be mad, but it's alright. You didn't like it. It didn't sound good. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit with the story, fuck it. Just delete it. That was something I had to learn the hard way. Because I remember one weekend, it was either Saturday or Sunday, I spent the whole day just writing. And then the next day when I read it over, I'm like, what the fuck did I just write? This isn't good. Yeah, I spent like 5 or so hours on it, but it doesn't matter. If you don't like it, you take it out. Because if you don't like it, most likely your reader won't like it. And your reader wouldn't even know you deleted it anyway. So that is the one knowledge I would definitely tell you if you're thinking about writing. It's okay to write for a couple hours and not like it in the very end. Just never settle. Never settle. Okay? You're worth it. It's okay. Things are going to come together. I know that I may have written my book in 4 months and it would have taken you maybe a year. That's okay. We're not trying to compete with each other, okay? We're all going at our own pace, and that's all right. Just believe in yourself. Never let yourself down. Don't be insecure. I know that part is very hard for everyone, especially me. Especially since I even sometimes I get worried that this is being released and that none of you guys will like it, but it's all right. You write it for yourself. You don't write for others. Because if you write for others, you're just trying to, please the world, and you can't please everyone. That is a knowledge I will pass on you. And the next question, these 3 questions are actually kind of similar in a way, but I'm going to read you the first 2 questions. How did you get it published, and what made you decide not to go into Kindle Unlimited? So the publishing way I went, I was Googling between traditional publishing or indie publishing, and traditional publishing is like, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult. It could take you years until you get somebody to not call you back, but reply back saying, hey, I like the idea of your book. We can work on it. So I am impatient. I am not the most very patient person depending on the situation. So I was like, well, I like creative freedom. The difference between traditional publishing, it seems like, you're selling your work to them, your story, your idea. You don't really get to have as much creativity for your book cover and everything like that. And I'm a visionary person. I can visualize everything in my mind and how I want it to look like and everything. So I was like, well, it would be nice to be traditionally published one day because I do want others to read my story. But realistically, I cannot wait 2 to 3 years possibly for someone to pick up my book and be like, yeah, we'll make it. Let's go. We sign a contract and everything. I cannot wait. I can't wait 2 years. Possibly, maybe. And it's like applying for jobs. And that is straining, that's depressing enough. That world right there is difficult. So I was like, you know what? I'll become an indie author. I'll do my best. At least I could say I wrote a book. So I went through the Amazon route. I was going to go through Barnes & Noble, as you guys saw in the debut video that I went to see the author's copy, how it was printed between both companies. But I just preferred Amazon more because the cover format was better. The formatting, the quality was a little better compared to the Barnes & Noble, which is the one I'm holding here. The spine and everything wasn't lined up. The only good thing about the Barnes & Noble one is the inside formatting was spot on. And the paper itself, it's a little bit thicker than the Amazon one, but I just decided to go with the Amazon because Amazon's worldwide as well. I don't think Barnes & Noble is worldwide. I think they're mostly based in America. So I wanted to make sure that my book was available worldwide, so for everyone to read. Apologies to, I think it was Japan and Australia that won't be able to get the paperback. They can only get the Kindle version because the quality of paper that I chose for Amazon was colored paper, and it was a certain specific thing that the warehouse, I guess, in those countries couldn't do it. I don't know. I don't question it. I forgot the second question. What made me decide not to go into Kindle Unlimited? So I didn't choose Kindle Unlimited because if you're going to choose to be in Kindle Unlimited, you're not able to post your ebook to other platforms like Google, the Google Play Store one, or the Apple one, or anywhere that allows you to buy an ebook. So I didn't want to confine myself in Kindle Unlimited. I probably would make a little bit more money with Kindle Unlimited because there's constantly a deal going on or whatever, and it you get to have readers, because I believe there's some days where it's you get a few books for free to try on Kindle Unlimited, so that way you can get an audience. But I did not want to confine myself in just Amazon only. So I was like, you know what, I can't do Kindle Unlimited. It's all up to you, based on you, how you want things done. But for me, I wanted my book to be read everywhere, anywhere possible. So I was like, I'm not doing Kindle Unlimited. So hopefully that answers your question. And then the final question is, will you be offering any signed copies or any plans for hardback? Your girly is a hardback cover girly. I love hardback. It was sad that I could not get this in hardback. I could only get this in paperback. And the reason for that is because of the specifics I chose for this book. So the book is A5. Cool. Anybody could do that. But it's not black and white. It's actually in color. So everything is in color. So literally every chapter with the little flower details were in color. There's like text message details in color. There's like letters in colors, like letter formatting. I did a lot of color. So I didn't want my thing to be black and white. That is the only reason why there's no hardback copy. Unless there's a demand for hardback, that hardback copy would be in black and white. if you want it in black and white. But that's the only reason there's no hardback. In the future, I hope I can do hardback. Maybe by then, you know, I can get picked up by a traditional publishing company and be like, hey, can we have a special edition? Can we have a special edition of my first book in hardback, please? Because your girl's actually a hardback girly, but my first book had to be coming out in paperback. I think the second book as well is going to be paperback only because I wanted to match this one to be in color. The next future projects, maybe I'll just stick with the black and white theme and don't do as extra as I was for this one. I wanted my first book to be special, and I wanted it to be in color. So that is the only reason why there's no hardback. Signed copies, it's being made in Amazon. I don't have an option to do signed copy versions because, again, I'm an indie author. I could technically buy a bulk load of these and then like make my own website, and then you guys can buy directly from me. I probably would gain more money that way. But with everything going on, I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think I'm ready to purchase like a bulk load of my own books and then like figure out shipping costs and everything. So that is the only reason why I went through Amazon. They handle everything themselves for me, and I just lay back and chill, you know. In the future, I will hopefully get hardback copies. Hopefully I will get to do signed copies. I feel like the signed copies will be rare. Like if my friends want me to sign their book, sure, let me sign it. I don't know if I will be doing any like convention shows or anything, meet and greets and like that. I believe that's the only way possible you'll be able to get a signed copy from me realistically at this time. So I apologize. And that concludes all the questions that you guys have asked me, at least the main 10 questions that I saw. Again, if you had a question that I didn't answer, just leave it in the comment section and I'll try my best to reply. And yeah, here we are. Promise Me You'll Love Again. Coming out March 20th, 2025. In my brain, I keep wanting to say March 25th, 2025, but that's wrong. It's March 20th, 2025. I do post on TikTok and Instagram a little bit like teasers of what the book is about if you always want to like get to know more about the book itself. But here we are. My book. It still feels surreal that I wrote something. I think the reality will hit when my friends purchase the books and then be like, sign for me. And I'm gonna be like, where'd you get that copy? I thought I only had it. Because reality right now is I am the only one that has my book. But soon enough, in 2 months' time, everyone's gonna be able to get this book. And that's gonna be crazy. I really genuinely hope you guys enjoy the book. I am starting to plan out the second book to the sequel. Hopefully there's not gonna be a third one. There shouldn't be a third one. Unless I'm gonna my brain's gonna do another plot twist and it's gonna be like fucking crazy. But I am working on the second book. I don't know if I'm gonna record my journey on that one, just because this one is the second book to the sequel is gonna be hard. I am not gonna be able to freestyle as much as I thought I could. This one is gonna take a lot out of my brain power. I had to physically write my notes down. Typing it on my phone and on my computer is not enough. Because this one, if I leave a single detail out of place, I know one reader at least will be like, hey, yo, this timeline doesn't make sense. And I'm going to be like, fuck, you're right. So this second book might take me a little longer than the first book, since I actually have to actively do a whole timeline, write all the characters' information again, because it's been a while since I actually wrote anything. The last time I wrote was when I first finished the first draft, which was in June, and now we're in January, so it's been months since I wrote something. I should have wrote like some fanfic or something to keep my writing skills up, but I did not. What was I doing? I think I was busy reading. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I answered majority of your questions. I really look forward to seeing your reviews on my book. Whether it's good or bad, I don't care. At least you read the book, you know. That's all that matters. At least my book is being read somewhere. Is all that should matter. Oh my god. I still can't believe it. You guys are going to read my book soon. It's going to be in somebody's hand. It's going to be like highlighted by somebody. And I cannot wait to like see what everyone's favorite quote is. Because there's multiple quotes in this book that I was like, damn. And that's my favorite thing I always ask whenever my friends finish reading my book. I'm like, what's your favorite quote? I want to know. I want to know what stuck out to you compared to what stuck out to me. But anyway, I'm rambling too much. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, night, afternoon, wherever you are. Stay beautiful. And I'll see you guys in the future.